In a single click, one email, two of the planet's most powerful tech titans, Facebook and Google, quietly transferred more than $100 million to a stranger. Sounds like a movie twist, doesn't it? Except this story is absolutely real. No malware outbreak, no Hollywood-style vault robbery, just a brilliantly forged invoice, a look-alike web domain, and a master manipulator named Evaldas Rimasauskas. His con would expose a blind spot big enough to swallow 9 figures, proving that sometimes the greatest threats slip in wearing a suit and tie, not a ski mask. Back in 2013, the tech boom felt unstoppable. Google was blanketing the world with cloud servers. Facebook was racing toward 2 billion users. Yet 5,000 miles away, in a modest Vilnius apartment, Rimasauskas was busy mapping their internal plumbing. Supply chains, vendor portals, finance, contacts. He wasn't a code wizard or a black hat legend. His genius lay in recognizing something simpler. When organizations grow colossal, trust becomes automated. Approvals get rubber-stamped. Vendors become lines in a spreadsheet. And that's where he decided to strike. He fixated on one name in those spreadsheets: Quanta Computer, a real Taiwanese manufacturer that ships motherboards and server chassis to half the Fortune 500. Quanta was credible, global, and, crucially, already vendor-approved in both Facebook's and Google's systems. So Rimasauskas did something devilishly straightforward. He copied it. He incorporated Quanta Computer Inc. in New York, registered a domain 1-off, quantainc.com, and designed stationery so polished even a lawyer would be fooled. Then he built an arsenal of documents, sales quotes, tax certificates, wire transfer instructions, all stamped with forged Taiwanese ministry seals. Every detail mattered: proper ISO dates, correct part numbers, a believable freight forwarder field in the PO. Nothing sloppy, nothing that screamed scam. By mid-2013, his first email, addressed to accounts payable, sailed into Google's finance inbox. It referenced a genuine purchase order, publicly discoverable in customs filings, and attached an invoice for $24.6 million in server equipment. The tone was cordial. Per our agreement, payment net 30. To a stressed finance analyst juggling hundreds of similar bills, it looked completely routine. The analyst ticked approved. The system matched vendor ID to Quanta, and whoosh, millions zipped off to a Latvian account Rimasauskas controlled. No alarms, no second signature. Success breeds boldness. Over the next 24 months, he fired off invoice after invoice, alternating between Facebook and Google, so no single ledger ballooned too quickly. Some transfers clocked in at $9 million, others just under $800,000. Small enough to dodge executive scrutiny, large enough to keep the score climbing. Funds pinballed from Latvia to Cyprus to Hong Kong, then scattered into shell companies across Eastern Europe. Altogether, 122 million siphoned in near-invisible drips. Why did no one notice? Because every pressure point favored the fraudster. Finance teams are measured on speed and accuracy, not investigative zeal. Email domains can differ by a single character and still look legitimate on a phone screen, and the name Quanta Computer already lived in enterprise resource. Software as trusted. Rimasauskas exploited an ugly truth. The bigger the organization, the more its security depends on the least experienced person clearing a queue on a Friday afternoon. Inevitably, though, fractures formed. Late 2015 audits at Facebook flagged repeat invoice numbers and mismatched freight data. A parallel review at Google spotted payments without matching shipment IDs in its logistics dashboard. Suddenly the pattern emerged. Same vendor, new bank account, no delivered goods. Internal investigators escalated, and federal agencies stepped in. The FBI's Cyber Division, the Secret Service's E-Crimes Task Force. Subpoenas flew across borders. Banks were compelled to disgorge wire trails, each route of money, laundering unspooled back to the Baltic states, converging on one quiet apartment block in Vilnius. By early 2017, Rimasauskas sensed the walls closing in. He allegedly shifted assets into cryptocurrency, pre-packed a work trip bag, and browsed flights to Southeast Asia. But Lithuanian authorities pounced first. On a gray March morning, plainclothes officers intercepted him in a parking garage. No gunfire, just cold handcuffs and the soft click of a trunk slamming shut. Within weeks, he was extradited to New York, facing a courtroom packed with reporters hungry for details of how Silicon Valley had been outplayed. The trial was swift, the evidence overwhelming. Bank ledgers, forged stamps, server logs, even drafted scam emails recovered from a laptop cache. Rimasauskas pleaded guilty to wire fraud, money laundering, and aggravated identity theft. The judge handed down 5 years in federal prison and ordered him to forfeit nearly $49 million, a record restitution for a single-actor BEC, business email compromise, scheme. Investigators clawed back much of the rest, but experts believe several million still lurk in uncooperative offshore havens, and that leaves the burning question: could this still happen today? Absolutely, because the vulnerability wasn't a missing firewall update, it was misplaced confidence. Facebook and Google had top-tier encryption, intrusion detection, penetration tests, yet they lost to paperwork. The lesson stings. Cybersecurity is no longer just IT, it's finance, legal, procurement. It's everyone who clicks pay. So, here's the checklist every organization, big or small, should tattoo on its processes. 1. Never accept a bank detail change by email alone. Mandate a voice verification to a known contact. 2. Deploy SPF, DKIM, and DMARC records, so spoof domains fail authentication. 3. Segment payment approvals. No single analyst should clear multi-million wires unilaterally. 4. Rehearse phishing fire drills. Drop simulated scam invoices randomly. Grade your staff on whether they question them. Trust must be earned anew each transaction, because the next Rimasauskas may not be in Lithuania. He could be in your spam folder right now, waiting. One forged invoice, one well-timed reminder email, one overworked employee eager to empty their queue before the weekend, and your balance sheet bleeds. The chilling part? You probably won't notice until months later, when recovery is a race against laundering algorithms designed to vanish funds in hours. So pause before you click approve. Pick up the phone. Validate. Be that annoying skeptic in the chain. Because skepticism is cheaper than catastrophe. Share this story with your finance team, your partners, your clients. Let its warning echo in every boardroom. Colossal firewalls mean nothing if a single email can walk straight through the front door. If this tale opened your eyes, hit subscribe and tell us which real-world cybercrime you'd like dissected next. And remember, sometimes the most dangerous hacker is the one holding a perfectly forged invoice and a polite greeting. Stay sharp, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of deception.